Guys, final prediction bid for Carlos Takam versus Joseph Parker. Big step up for Joseph Parker. In my eyes, probably sooner than is ideal. Parker's 23. He hasn't fought anyone in my top 30 at this stage, and I would have probably liked to have seen him slow down a bit, have a few more learning fights. It's not absolutely ideal that he's going straight into this fight off the back of what was one of his lesser performances last time out against Jason Bergman. It's not ideal that he's going in to face his first top 10 opponent, who at the same time seems to have got himself in the best physical shape of their career. You know, it's slightly too early to be comfortable for my money, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be leaning towards Takam. Let's start with Takam. Takam's very good. But when I'm looking at making a prediction for this fight, when I'm looking at analysing how the fight's going to end, do I see Takam outboxing Joseph Parker? Takam can box from the outside, he's got decent skills, but fundamentally, do I see him outboxing Joseph Parker? The answer to that is probably no. Do I see him having the one-punch KO power to take out Joseph Parker just with a single punch? And the answer to that is probably no. For me, Takam's best chance of winning this fight is to mix things up, but essentially it's to bring the pressure, bring the fitness, and grind down the younger, less experienced opponent. Smother him, wear him down, sit on his chest. Don't give him room to move, don't give him room to manoeuvre, don't give him room to get his work off. Sit on his chest, make life unpleasant for him, make life difficult for him, smother him, wear him down, and see if you can stop him late or take the fight on points. For me, that's Takam's best bet of winning this fight. Fundamentally, I look at these two guys and I think, who has the ability to become a world champion here? Does Takam have the ability to become a world champion? Does Takam have an ability to become a top 3 fighter in the division? For me, the answer is probably no. Takam, does he have the size? No. Does he have the power? No. Does he have the technical boxing ability? Probably not. Takam's a very good fighter, don't get me wrong. I'll give Parker tremendous credit for winning this fight, but Takam has found his level for me at the lower end of the top 10. I don't see Takam as the kind of fighter who has the upside to go on to world championship level or the upside to dominate the division. And for me, Takam's best bet here is actually to use his experience, use his fitness, and to try and grind Parker down and test if there are any areas to Parker's game that are as of yet unknown. Test if there are any weaknesses to Parker that can be broken down and brought out late on in this fight. Can he beat Parker? Definitely. But in terms of making a prediction for this fight, I think my money's with Joseph Parker. Put simply, the guy's upside, the guy's potential is a lot higher than Carlos Takam. And whilst I say I can't see Takam going on to be world champion, whilst I say I can't see Takam going on to be top 3 of the division, it wouldn't surprise me if Parker goes on to those heights. Now, I'm not saying I'd necessarily predict Parker to be a definite world champion. What I'm saying is I think there's a more realistic chance that given his upside, he's got the potential to get there than Carlos Takam. I see Parker having a massive speed advantage. I see Parker having a massive advantage boxing from the outside. I see Parker having the better jab. I see Parker picking up the points with the cleaner work. I see Parker fundamentally being the more higher class opponent in terms of general boxing ability. For me, the key to this is that Parker needs to keep the fight at range. He needs to maintain his discipline. He needs to avoid any unnecessary defensive fragility. He needs to get the jab working. He needs to emphasise the difference in the cleanness of his work from the outside. But fundamentally, I think he can outbox Carlos Takam. He needs to keep the distance there, because if the distance closes up, Takam may have the advantage. But from range, from my eyes, this is Joseph Parker's fight to lose. He's the more athletic guy, he's got more skills, he's more well-rounded, he's certainly the bigger puncher, he's certainly the bigger man, and I think in what is going to be a very tough fight for him, Joseph Parker will just have enough to sneak through here. My suspicion is that Parker will win a points victory of 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4, something of that nature. I think Takam will look good in spots. I think he'll ask questions. I think it'll cause difficult spots for Joseph Parker. But as I say, do I see Takam having the power, the size, or the boxing ability to take this away from Joseph Parker? Probably not. And I think if Parker sticks to his boxing, runs a defensively responsible, disciplined boxing performance, uses jab, throws clean, crisp, concise combinations from range, I think he's going to be the more eye-catching fighter, and I think he's going to grab the eye of the judges. I think Joseph Parker wins the fight. I think it's a big step up, and this is a fight that moves Joseph Parker from contender more on the fringes to top 10 level. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your prediction. How does the fight go? Does it go the distance? Will it be a knockout? Who wins? What's it going to be on the scorecards? Let me know your thoughts. Extremely, extremely exciting matchup, people. I'm looking forward to it. If you've enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe.